Councilwoman Murray, we're just going to go, if that's all right, if you're ready. Councilwoman
Thank
Murray.
you, Council President. I have the same concerns as Councilman Beauchamp, and I want to make it very clear that we are not voting on whether or not we agree with the power plant this evening. We are voting on whether or not we want to enter into an agreement to sell water. And Butterville has the protection in the form of an agreement, and they will get money should this plant come to fruition. And I believe that it will. Johnston, if they vote, and we know that they're having a meeting tonight to vote on a potential agreement, if this plant comes to fruition, and I believe that it will, they will also get that protection. And what will Woonsocket be left with? And I know that it's difficult for people to understand who maybe haven't lived in Woonsocket for, the past several decades, where streetlights were off, where we were under a budget commission, where our schools didn't have enough money. And I just think that if this plant comes to fruition and we get all of the pollution and all of the negative effects, I don't want us to walk away and see Woonsocket get nothing. And so I think that it's important to keep continuing to negotiate. Now I have a question for our legal counsel, because on this resolution, it says the City Council authorizes the mayor to execute a water supply agreement with Clear River Energy LLC in connection with their Clear Energy Center power plant in Butterville, Rhode Island, provided that any such agreement shall first be reviewed and approved by the City Council. We have the framework of an agreement that we've been reviewing and mulling around. Will there be opportunity to tweak the agreement if this resolution gets passed tonight?
Councilwoman, I think that's a very good question. In the responses, I think that what Invenergy is looking
I'm sorry, could you get a little closer to the mic so everyone can hear?
I believe what Invenergy is looking for is an agreement in principle as to the payment terms of the water supply, and any additional terms that might relate to payment security, drought provisions, and the like would be ironed out by council and for the benefit of the city.
And what does that timeline look like? If you can answer that question.
I'm not quite sure what the timeline looks like from Invenergy's perspective, and defer to Mark Russo on that.
Our timeline, Councilwoman, is we would, if the council was so inclined to authorize the administration to execute an agreement. I think you're correct. We've gone back and forth with terms. There are some terms that are still open. The council mentioned some security and some other things like that. But we've set forth our proposal as far as the amount of water we would need and the money we would pay. We would need the council to approve that, and then we would have to work through legal counsel to finish up the contract. But it would be, I think Councilman Green said at the beginning, this has been fast-tracked, and I apologize for that, but it would be fast-tracked, and we need to finish it up pretty quickly.
And what time frame are we talking about?
This week.
Yeah. So my concerns, and I spoke a little bit with you this afternoon, Councilor, was about payment security, because that, I think, is everyone's concern up here on the council. I think that, like I said, I think that we owe it to the Woonsocket taxpayers who have been struggling to get something for them should this deal come to fruition. And I just want to reiterate that I'm not convinced that it won't, and I do not want to see us end up with absolutely nothing to show for it with all of the negative effects. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Just for clarification before Councilwoman Sierra, before you begin, Mr. Ratcliffe, you said prior to the meeting that the agreement that we're working off of was the last agreement that we received from Invenergy on Friday afternoon.
That's correct.
So any talk of changes from that point forward have not taken place.
That's correct. We're working off of the Friday agreement.
Very good.